much does success matter to you? 1 to 10. Like, are you willing to just put it all out there? And if it doesn't work, you're like miserable. It's like, this is bad. Or, hey, like I have a good job. Like I can always fall back on that. And then, the music thing didn't work out. Like, are you going to do this till you die?
Yeah.
Or at some point, are you like, you know what? This is a lot of headache for
Yeah.
not a lot of reward.
Yeah. So that is definitely something you like think about. And I think it's interesting. Like you can hear people who are famous, like talk about this all the time, but like talking to someone like me, who's very much in that, like not really making any money from it, like getting some production gigs, like weird tangent. I don't like producing for other people that much. Like I'm a very interesting producer in the sense of like I will do it, but I don't love it because I want to make stuff I want to make, and generally it's not what they want to hear. So it's like, yeah. But so I could probably be making money from doing that, but right now I'm building myself. So down the line for sure. But yeah, that's a tough one because there's always like, well, you have the fallback, but if you have a fallback in mind, you're not going to go as hard.
Yeah.
If you like, it's basically like if your back's up against the wall and there's nothing to fall back on, you will go so much harder at it. So yeah, I do think there's going to come a time probably soon where I'm like, there's no more fallback. Like it's either happening or it's not. And if it's not happening, I'm moving to an island and becoming a bartender.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good fallback.
Yeah. Like like fallback shirt, like,
or whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, I'll move to an island, become a bartender. Like I've proven to myself I'm smart, capable, can get a good job.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not for everyone.
Yeah.
My mom is more on board with that. My dad's not on board with it. It's just like he likes knowing I have the stable job, stuff like that. But they're both very supportive. So
yeah, totally agree. Like both my parents very supportive. At the same time, though, it's like, oh, I got a job. They wouldn't be like, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
Horrible idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you've mentioned like how much does money matter to you? Where in the sense of, what are you doing this for? Are you doing this for money? Are you doing this for fulfillment? Are you doing this for, what are your motivations for living this like lifestyle?
This lifestyle. So, no, not doing it for money. If you are successful, is a very nice perk because you can make a lot of it. But that being said, if I wanted a ton of money, I would have become an engineer, a doctor, or done like gun work, like got some aerospace design thing and just gone and like worked my way up in a tech field where you can make a buttload of money rather than the entertainment industry where they notoriously pay you like shit. So if money was the only goal, that would be it for sure. I would have done something else. I don't want to be poor, but if I was given the chance of like, you're going to be successful in music, you're going to be like making a good amount of money, like you're going to only have to make music for the rest of your life, like, yeah, I would take it over like maybe making a bit more doing something I don't want to do. Like I'm more of like, I want to do what I want to do rather than the money. That being said, I do want to make a lot of money, but it's not, like I do want that. Like I'm not just being like, oh, like I want to make a lot. So like, but it's not why I do it.
I feel like you and I both look at it from this perspective of, yes, an engineer, aerospace design person can make $250,000 a year, can make $500,000 a year, whatever. You could produce a beat for Drake. Like you said, it's 10 steps. You could produce Hotline Bling. Probably didn't have too much to it. And did it? I don't know.
It's funny. That's the bootleg I did.
Okay. Yeah. Even better.
That's one of his more like interesting beats, I'd say. But like, no, like
I'm trying to think of a simplistic song.
Yeah, think of
One Dance.
Yeah, sure. That's pretty. The funny thing is, you're choosing some of Drake's cooler productions.
Yeah,
but you see him broken down. It's nothing crazy. I would say like you want to see like, do you ever listen to Juice WRLD or anything?
Yeah.
So like, All Girls Are the Same. Cool melody. Not much going on. There's some songs, like I'm trying to think of who uses. There's like a funny saying, like rappers, you'll like play them like your masterpiece that took you 4 days, and then they'll take the one that you did in 20 minutes. just because they like simple, and it makes sense because rappers want stuff very open so they can rap. They're supposed to be the focus. Like your production shouldn't be. But yeah, sorry, tangent. What were you saying?
No, that's fine. Basically, the people who make Bad and Bougie, you know, I don't even know. See, like, I'm not a music guy. I can't even. I'm sure some Ice Spice songs are pretty simplistic, where it's just a drill. You could produce that beat, and it could take you 20 minutes, and you can make $5 million from it.
Yeah.
So that's the in terms of ceiling money, I feel like music and entertainment is way higher than engineering.
Oh, for sure.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, you're seeing like some of these producers, like super producers, like the top of the top are worth hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And by the way, just disclaimer, I do not want to take anything away from hip hop producers because there's actually an art to making a good beat with such little elements. Because like coming from EDM, you overdo it almost every time.
Okay.
And those guys just like, there's an art to it. It's like they said, simplistic is like, yeah, like pretty, like maybe the melody's simple, the drums aren't that crazy, but like there's an art to doing that. And like, I'm envious of those guys sometimes. Like there's some producers who are definitely knocking out like 50 or 60 beats a week and placing a lot of those and just sitting in cash.
Yeah.
So it's like,
whatever works.
yeah, literally. But then it's like all producers are good at different things. Like an indie band producer might not be the best at making trap music. A hip hop producer probably won't make future bass or house music. Like a house, you know what I mean? Like it's kind of like a crossover thing. Like I'm not going to make dubstep. So it's all got their own lane kind of. But yeah, hip hop producers make a lot of money. That's all I'm going to say.
Do they make more? I feel like they make more than EDM probably.
Well, EDM, the thing is they can tour.
Okay.
So a big DJ is going to make
Diplo.
a lot. Oh, yeah, he makes so much money. They're going to make a lot from touring and playing shows, and that's where the bulk of their revenue is going to come from. Hip hop, the thing is, if you're Drake's producer and you're producing a song that just got 2 billion streams, like, my God. Like, and the thing about those guys is, like, Metro Boomin or someone, like, I don't know his numbers, but, like, he might just charge $50,000 to be in that room with you. And then you have to, you know what I mean? Like, that might be just like his fee to show up. So it's
depending on who you are,
yeah,
too.
depending on who you are. Like, there's tiers, obviously. You can go find a beat for $20 on BeatStars, but like, there's platinum songs from people taking you free YouTube beats. So it's like, and then there's people, super producers, where you'll get like, and you can kind of tell, like, you can tell a difference between a Metro Boomin beat and like some YouTube beat, but like,
I really can't. I mean, really can't.
I'll send you some of
sometimes.
his more like slappy, like fire, like yeah. He's a very, very talented producer.
Oh yeah, for sure. I loved his album, the one before the Spider-Man one. Yeah.
Like you can, but like a lot of that is It's so they're making their money from selling beats, points on records, upfront fees, publishing. They're not touring unless you're like a Kenny Beats, who also plays live, which is not a bad idea. He's got the personality though.
Yeah, I like Kenny Beats.
He's got that personality to do it. Like Metro Boomin will play live too.
Yeah.
But
Kenny Beats has that YouTube show that
Kenny
I like.
Beats is cool.
Yeah.
I like he's funny to me.
Yeah.
You know, so he used to be in an EDM duo.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
And then he I mean, you can go look all this up, but like he was in an EDM duo. He went to Berkeley, and then it was like pretty hard shit too. And then said he just wasn't feeling it. I think, like, don't quote me on that. And came back, took a year or two off, I think he said, and kind of learned the hip hop game. Then came in, and now he's like one of the best.
He and Denzel Curry are like
just go
buoyed up. Yeah, exactly.
He makes like super unique beats. Like his stuff is cool. It's not just super generic. Like, cause you know, like the whole SoundCloud rap wave.
It's dead now.
It's kind of dead, but like all those beats sounded the exact same. Yeah. So it's like there's a lot of the hip hop coming nowadays. Like the beats are getting really cool again. Like really cool, in my opinion. They were getting kind of boring.
Yeah. I feel like everything kind of got Migosified, and that was more 2016.
Yeah.
And then everyone tried to be X and Trippie Redd
Lil
and
Peep,
exactly. Yeah.
Juice WRLD.
Yeah.
And like Juice WRLD, but he was at the front of it, was using like Nick Mira, very melodic trap beats, but that was his sound. And then there was 20 knockoffs after that, 20 knockoff producers. And then like Lil Peep used all the guitars and the trap beats, and then 25 knockoffs of him and like producers just trying to do that. Like I like a lot of the producers nowadays. Like I have some friends who are making super sick hip hop beats that they're kind of going more back into like boom bap and like using like breakbeat drums and like less trappy stuff, I guess. I don't know. It's always fun to use a good 808 and like smash someone's like car windows with it, but like I don't know. There's some really cool stuff being made now. So every once in a while I'll try to do it too. I'm just like can't get in the headspace all that often.
Yeah, it's crazy, especially to me, where it's like I know nothing. It's like how many levels go into a song, and I think 99% of the population, people are like, oh, the lyrics are catchy.
Yeah,
at least that's the big thing. And then when you go to dissecting a song, it really can take. It's like an art. It is an art form.
Yeah, and it's funny, like. Yeah, people like, so I always get like hung up on my stuff. I'm like, oh, the mix isn't sounding good enough. Like, like, oh my God. Like, and I'm like, and then I show it to my friends. They're like, yo, like sick. And I'm like, but that, they're like, no, like, I don't hear that. And so it's like, yeah, the audience and the producer, it's a very separated thing. And so like, yeah, if it's got a catchy hook, yeah, the theoretically the production could be horseshit, and if it's got a really catchy hook, people listen to it. I mean, you want the production to support it, but and then there's songs like that have gone like Clairo. I don't know if you know who that is. Like, this is not a dig at all, but like she produced all of her early stuff in her bedroom, I think, with like GarageBand and just her doing it. So like it doesn't sound like a Max Martin or like the best like
Mike Dean.
It's like the best engineered. It's like literally her like singing, probably mixing it herself with like a beat she made herself, and like it's raw, but like that stuff it's huge. Like it blew her up. Like so it's like things that I think about aren't necessarily what an audience thinks about in that sense, because like yeah, like I've been tripping about one of my things on a mix, and I'm like, and then I'm just like, people are like, get out of your head, dude. Like, just like no one cares. And so it's like, yeah, like I think the music people definitely gravitate. Catchy melodies, good lyrics. If you've got that, you're 90% of the way there.
How many times will you listen to your song before you put it out?
Oh my God. The one I just put out last actually came across pretty quickly. Like I made it when Roderick. It's Roderick.
Oh,
right.
I love
guy.
Roderick. Yeah. Slept with Roderick.
Yeah.
Toe to toe.
So I made that when Roderick came, and he was here, it was March. It was either February or March.
He left in February.
End of February?
Right as I got here.
Yeah, so it was February. So we made that in February, because I produce a lot with Roderick. We work really well together. He does a lot of my mixing too. And so we made that in February, and then it just came out. So it was actually really, and then because there was like usually about a month of mixing revisions, maybe a little bit more. Not even, because we were making it together. So it was like a bit quicker. So that was really quick. Portals, I've heard over 1,000 times. I almost guarantee it. And sometimes I want to shoot myself.
Do you hate it?
No.
You still like it? Do you hate some of your songs? Do you go back to Ghost Boy?
Some of the Ghost Boy stuff I really don't like.
I scroll back in my feed 3 months ago. I'm like, oh my God.
I can appreciate something that's well produced. And I usually don't, like, I try not, like, I have some music that's horribly produced. It's just never going to show you. You know what I mean? Like, I think out of every 10 songs I make, like 2 of them, I might be like, yeah, like, we can try and move forward with this. Trying to get a vocalist or whatever. But yeah, I've heard Portals at this point like 1,000 times, and I really do think it's a great song. I still like it. I'm just so hung up on some mixing aspects about it. Like, we finalized the mix finally. Like, I think it probably went through 55 or 60 revisions.
Jesus.
And I'm on the master now, and I sent in my last revision. So, like, fingers crossed they send that back tomorrow, and I'm just like, yes, and then I can just get it off my mind, because then I probably won't listen to it for a very long time. I don't listen to my music once it's gone very often.
Yeah, you don't play it in front of people,
no,
for people? Yeah,
absolutely not. If someone asks me, sure. Like, I'll play it, but I'm not just going to be like, pop it on like, yo.
The first day I came out here, someone we know goes, hey, can I play you my song? I was like, Sure. Like I would never do that, especially like whenever someone's like, I've seen your TikTok. It's like, oh God, delete it.
Yeah.
You know, like I
Yeah.
got, do you have that sense of embarrassment or is it, I've worked really hard on portals. I know it smacks, you know, like I
Yeah.
know it's good.
Well,
Or is it still like, oh God, like
So-
don't look at me, you know?
because I get so close to things, like with this stuff, it's like I want to believe it's good, but then like sometimes you're like, is it good? Like you kind of get stuck in your head. But I think that's everyone with all art. Like, it depends on the song. I've had songs come out where I'm like, don't play this in front of me. Like I'm so over it. If someone asks me now, yeah, I'll play my music in front of them. I'm not just gonna be like, hey, you want to hear my new stuff? Unless it's like like one of my homies coming through and I'm like, yo, like, do you want to hear some new music? Like, I think it's a little different. Like if I just meet this random person and they're coming over, I'm like, hey, by the way, like, you want to hear this song I just made? Like, no, unless they ask me. And then I'll be like, reluctantly show. Like, if I don't think I have anything like ready, I won't. I might show them something I've released, but like, yeah, I keep things pretty close.
You do, honestly.
Yeah, I keep things pretty close for a couple reasons. One, I definitely get scared, like, of showing people.
Oh, like if they don't like it?
Yes and no. It's more of just like, because I know the genres I do are not the most universal stuff. Some of it can be. It's more of, I don't want someone to like give a reaction, even if it's not meant, that susses me out. Not susses me out, that like kind of gets me in my head, because then I won't want to release it. So if I like something, I'll show a few people, and then I'm like, okay, we're like, yeah, it's good. Like I'll show a good variety of people, and if everyone's like, yep, then I'm like, okay, like it's. I don't want someone to talk me out of releasing something, because I get like some weird reactions from some people who only ever listen to Katy Perry, and my music is so far from Katy. You know what I mean? So like, I just don't want anyone to psych me out. So I do send it to other producers. I have like opinions. It's funny though, because other producers give you wild feedback, like the stuff that you would never say to me. They're like, "Oh, dude, you got to do this filter before this drop, or like this snare, it's a little like boxy for me. Like, could we switch the snare?" It's like you would if I sent it to you, you would be like, I don't know. You know what I mean? You probably never. So it's like you got to like happy medium between the two. I'd say when you're mixing it, you generally don't. I send it to my friends just to be like, how does this sound? If they're like good, or if they say bad, then you know something's really wrong. A mixing engineer will be able to be like, right here's the issue. So yeah.
It's crazy, man. It's really crazy. If zooming out a little bit, just like what would you say? You've mentioned touring. Like, what's your goal here? Just the overarching goal of, I've done X, Y, Z. That was a successful career. Like, what are those things that you want done? Do you want? How much does recognition matter to you? How much does monetary success matter to you? What are your goals here?
Goals. Well, I want to be successful. And monetary success isn't everything. I would love to make a lot. I don't want to be broke. Like, you know what I mean? Like, no. Like, I believe if you start being successful in music, like if you breach that barrier, there's a lot of money to be made. It's just breaching that barrier is one of the most difficult things you can do. It's like acting. It's like doing anything creative in Los Angeles. It's like you got to breach through the barrier. You got to like go from being like, who's that guy, to like, oh, he's one of us now. So it's like, but people do it every day. So it's like, why not you being next? Goal wise, see, it's like my music's in a funky place, because it's like not the most DJable music like my old stuff, but it's not DJable. So I would actually love to tour at some point. Play live, play the world, because I can do a club set. Like I can turn my music into something much hyper, and a lot of DJs do that. They'll be like much more like mellow. Like, I don't know. Like, do you know the whole like Coachella Fortet Skrillex Fred Again thing?
Yeah, kind of, where they went on being...
Yeah. So Fortet, legend. His music isn't like all that like hype. Like he's super sick. Like, but it's not like some of the stuff they were playing there was like, wow. Like headbanging, like that's not really Fortet, but you see he can play that live. Like that's the nice thing about being a DJ. So I can do that. And then there's also people who will be so dedicated to your fans that they just want to hear your music. And so you can maybe, that's where you maybe try and play live, make it a little bit more interesting. Because if your music's more chill, like just DJing is like kind of like, like it's cool, but like that's maybe when you try to get a band going, get some like live synthesizers, like make cool visuals. Like I think that would be really cool. That takes a while. Like that's something that wouldn't happen for you need to find some success to do that because that's a big budget. That's like so yeah, for now it's about getting the music out, start getting people to listen, start building up a fan base who wants to listen to me, who would come to a show, start getting shows, maybe open for someone, maybe start playing some small festival slots, like just keep going up and yeah, you never know where you could go. Like you could be like Fred again, like dude's huge. Like 2 years ago or something, he never played a show.
That's
like,
crazy.
It's just, you know what I mean? Like you never know what's going to happen. Like something I can't really dream about now could be a reality in 7 years, 5 years, like 3 years. It's just, you got to be somewhat realistic while also being like, no, it's going to happen. Like it's like quietly confident in my head. Like you're confident, but it's also like, you don't want to go up to someone and be like, yo, like I'm a DJ Coachella, like in like 3 years. Like, no, because like you look like a dumbass if you don't do that. You'd be like, yeah, I'd love to do that. It's a dream of mine, and like I'm gonna work for it. But like most people just be like, yeah, right, dude. But also, I think everyone who said that, who's doing that now, would probably say like, yeah, someone came up to me like, yeah, right, bro. So like,
that's very fair. Yeah.
Yeah, people can be haters.
Yeah.
So,
do you have? So is there? Like, what really is it? Grammys aren't really a huge thing for EDM.
Yeah, I mean, kind of. Like, it'd be cool to win a Grammy, obviously. Yeah. But the thing about the Grammys is it's usually the most popular music of the year.
Exactly,
like
yeah.
Post Malone, Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Daft Punk did win Best Album, but that's like a whole, like, they're like legends. Like, there is a Best Dance section that's not shown at the actual
Oh, really?
It's not good enough to make the actual ceremony.
Damn.
But, yeah, I mean, Grammy's cool. Like, it's a nice industry. Like, it's kind of corrupt.
But you can,
to be honest.
Yeah, but you can like lie on your deathbed and be like, I didn't win a Grammy.
Yeah, oh yeah, be totally fine. I don't need to win awards. I don't need to win. I'd be on my deathbed like, yo, I played music for a majority of my life, made money from it. I'm content. Got to do everything I want to do. I love traveling. Like, got to do everything I wanted to do. I'm good. Like, I think I'd be content then again, I start reaching goals and I'm like, I want more. So like I could easily be in like 10 years if I like achieving stuff like, no, bro, I need more. Like I need to go like, but right now I think I could say that, but.
That's very fair. How do you feel about, we'll wrap up here soon. Thank you again for coming on. Huge. Fine. Yeah, right? You should do this yourself. It'd be a good, exposure thing. Yeah. What would you say, like, how would you say your personal life, touring, all these things that you want to do are going to, it is tough to have a family, or it is tough to even, be married.
Yeah.
Is it tough? Do you find yourself being like, all right, I would slow down if I want to have kids, or do you just view that as like a down the road thing?
Kind of think of that as a future Alexi problem. But no, I know. It's like, don't get me wrong. I do think I want to be married sometimes. I have fluctuating like opinion. I'm like, yeah, I want to be married. Then like, do I want to be married? Kids, I'm actually not so sure.
Okay.
That being said, that could definitely change. Like, I'm just not at a point. Like some people who I went to high school with have kids. Like crazy to me. But like to each is their own. I am not at a point where I can even remotely think about that. If I had kids, it would be later. I'd be a bit older. Because you could still theoretically, like, if I'm still young enough, like, if the next few years went really well, you could do a lot of shows before you're 36, 37, and then slow your roll a little bit and have kids. But, like, it's not really my priority. Like, it's not like I'm not going to be one of those people who's like, I'm giving this up for a family to start a family, unless I cannot see it happening, to be honest with you. Yeah, I just don't see that happening. And like even now, balancing is tough because like you work all day, and then at night you're like, well, this is my time to make music, and then then you got to balance out like, well, I need family time. Like I want to go out with my friends on the weekends. I have a girlfriend. So it's like, it can all get overwhelming a little bit. Like it would be much easier if I was just like, I'm going to work my day job and then like play Xbox for 5.5 hours after work. Sometimes I do that, like, but very rarely.
Where do you find that discipline from? Because that's discipline to be like, I just stared at a screen from 10 to 7, and now I'm going to continue to stare at a screen and sit in the same chair. Where does that come from?
It's just like obsession, man. Like like it's like I have to do it. Like I will be mad at myself if I don't do it. And it's like it's tough. Because there's days you don't want to do it, but then like you're as a creative, like you're just like, fuck you, bro. Like you got to do it. Other people are doing it. Like you got to work harder. You got to do your 10,000 hours. Like, so it's like a happy like internal battle. I usually like try to at least a few hours every day, and then some days I go way harder, and then Sundays I usually don't do anything.
The Lord's Day.
Yeah, Lord's Day. Praise Jesus. No, but yeah, there's like days I don't do anything. But I try to vast majority. Right now, I'm really taking practicing instruments as like a priority to get like all the writing a little bit better. Just make it faster, seamless, more ideas. But then I'm also producing. I have a lot stocked, so I sometimes feel like I can chill. But then again, if I'm not producing anything good, when I'll go through streaks where it'll be like 3 weeks and I'm like, this is all bad, then I get really like neurotic and I'm like, nope, no one's coming over. Like I'm sitting in my room until this happens. But yeah, like I want to go out with friends on the weekends, and like, so it's a tough balance. That's why in the future, just going at it, having like, you know, being a bartender or like doing something that could be 25 hours a week, cut down my hours a lot, make some good money and just go for it. I think that will be the move. It's just making the planned calculations for it, which I do think about actively all the time. So yeah.
All right, Lou, plug your stuff. TikTok, by the time this comes out next week.
Yeah, should hopefully be. No, I guess I have to post on TikTok.
Exactly.
Else, yeah.
So
what are my at sincerely Lou? Like, and yeah, just released a remix 2 weeks ago. Yeah, 2 weeks ago, and new music next month, new music August, new music October, and maybe one more. We'll see. And then
all with Tilly, VW.
Yes. Yep. And then we'll round out the year right there. Do more next year. Don't have that done yet. The beats might be done, but not the vocalist. So we'll see.
Very nice, sir.
Cool.
Here, we'll break the camera divide. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, there we go. Awesome.
We'll do this again in 2 years when
100%. We'll do it before
millions.
that.
When
exactly.
we're making millions.
Bingo.
All right.
All right. Thank you.